Hi there, Zam here from NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Eyes of Wakanda currently on Disney Plus. This is a 4 episode mini-series with each episode being its own individual story. Now, by the fourth episode, there is a culmination of all 4 stories having some sort of link, but you have to watch the series in order to truly understand that. Each episode is set in the past, from the way distant past up to the late 1800s. Each episode is about obtaining vibranium somewhere else in the world, and we follow a Wakandan from that particular time period who has to obtain that vibranium and the adventures they go through. We also see Wakandan technology and how it's evolved over the years, and even back in the day, how advanced it was for that particular period. Now, some things make me laugh because, like, for instance, in episode 4, they are trying to obtain this piece of vibranium, and they're using Wakandan technology to move around this part of Ethiopia. They're using a vehicle of sort made by obviously vibranium, and that vehicle crashes and they have to leave it behind. But surely that vehicle is full of vibranium. That vehicle is way ahead of its time period as well. If somebody found that vehicle which they just left behind because it crashed, they would have a hell of a ton of vibranium. And so these sort of plot holes did bug me. Whilst they're looking for another piece of vibranium elsewhere, they're leaving behind the vibranium that got them to Ethiopia in the first place, a vehicle. Yeah, things like that bugged me. It really did. But not enough for me not to necessarily enjoy what I was watching. Actually, there was another thing that also bugged me as well, and it's to do with the fourth episode, and it's to do with time travel. If you've seen, obviously, Avengers Endgame, then some of the time travel stuff that was explained in that series doesn't meld with this show. Massive loopholes, to tell you the truth. It does bug me when these are massive issues. But if you're willing to look past those issues, and at times I was, this is still quite a pleasant, 4 episode story that I did enjoy watching. The animation was pretty good. The voice acting was very good. The stories, some of the historical stories of the past, we do recognize, like the story of Troy, the Trojan horse, and all of that. How the Wakandans was involved in all of that, or a Wakandan to be more precise. We also have, as you can see in this picture next to me, Iron Fist. And Iron Fist, not obviously Danny Rand, but a predecessor of back in the day, of Danny Rand, how this particular person was involved in one of the stories in this particular show. So yeah, there's some moments, and I have to say, when I did see Iron Fist appear, I marked out. I genuinely did. I mean, this is probably the best portrayal of Iron Fist we've ever had, and it wasn't from the next Netflix show, and it was from this. And I'm not sure if we ever saw Danny Rand ever wear the headband in the Netflix show ever, which is a disgrace if he hasn't. But yeah, seeing this particular character, knowing exactly who that person was, yeah, it was brilliant. It really was, and their involvement with the Wakandans and all of that, it was really good, because obviously Iron Fist originally originates from Shenlong, which is some fictional part of like the Far East or something like that. So how did they end up in Africa? Well, you have to watch the episode to find out. Enjoyable, definitely. Not perfect, as I mentioned, the loopholes, but there are other things as well, like the violence. It's not fully graphic. It does pull its punches to a degree, but you are noticing that people are getting killed in various ways. They might get a blade to the head. Now, you don't necessarily see the blade penetrating the head, but it's going to their head. People are getting stabbed or whatever, because this is set in the past, so they don't have exotic weapons, even though Wakandans, they're still using primitive ways up to current day. If you see them all using spears and swords and stuff like that when it comes to a lot of their weapons. So they were, obviously, this being set in the past, they're still using spears and swords, whether it be the people of that time period or the Wakandans themselves. And so people are getting stabbed in various ways in each episode. Regardless of all of that, I don't want to mark out about people getting stabbed, but regardless, it was It was good. It was good. It was the first episode. You get used to the style and stuff like that. Probably not the best of the 4 episodes, but each episode onwards gets better. So I would say maybe the 4th episode is okay, but the second and third I did enjoy. I did enjoy. They were pretty good, especially as we saw Iron Fist come into play, which was a nice moment. Regardless, let's give this a mark. I'm stuck between a 7 and an 8. I think the plot holes were quite significant regarding the 4th episode, as I mentioned earlier. So it has to get a 7, I'm afraid. If those plot holes weren't so glaring, I would give it a higher mark. But regardless of those plot holes, I still had a good time with this show. It's really good to see the lore, the history of certain, civilizations, expanded, and this is definitely one of them. I'm pretty sure this has now become canon. And regarding canon, the 4th episode does have a part to play regarding the first Black Panther movie, but once again, you're going to have to watch the series to fully grasp that. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye-bye.